Hi everybody, Malice here with another LVO reaction video and the final one in my little mini series of said videos. So let's get into it. Now, this video has a distinct chaos flavour to it, chief among which being the the revealing of the Emperor's Children faction coming to Warhammer 40k. We'll get to that in but a moment, but first we have a bit of business with a new character coming to the Death Guard, the Lord of Poxes. Now, we don't know a lot about him. What we do know is, unlike other Death Guard generic Chaos Lords, he's not in a suit of Terminator armour, per the Lords of Virulence and Lords of Contagion. We know he also has a plasma pistol. We know he also has a very big rusty blade on his back, and a big canister full of God knows weird and wonderful contagions Papa Nurgle and Mortarion have been cooking up. So, as I say, rules wise, we know nothing about the Lord of Poxes yet. This is all just based off the reveal of the mini. As for the big canister on his back, here's what I reckon it'll be. I reckon it'll be something that will be something that either buffs Death Guard troops or debuffs enemy models. It could be a combination of the two and you get chop and change, but I reckon it's going to go in that sort of direction. It's either going to buff your guys and debuff the enemy guys, or it might be something that can heal your guys and hurt the enemy guys. We don't entirely know yet, and I suspect until we get the Death Guard previews starting to come, because we do know they are coming soon, courtesy of the roadmap that revealed, which I talked about in a previous video. But that leaves the Death Guard. Let's put the Lord of Poxes in his box for now and get to the main event and actual reaction, because this video, the reveal of the Emperor's Children. And this being now all four of the legions that are aligned to the four Chaos Gods, now as playable factions within 40k in their own right. Last edition, World Eaters got added to the roster. Before that, it was Death Guard and Thousand Sons. Now the Emperor's Children have come to play. Now, again, we don't know a lot about them rebels-wise. We do know there's an army box coming with the Codex, which will be for the early birds. So if you get that box, you'll have early access to the Codex before it gets released to the wider public. And some of the lovely new minis. I'll put links to the two articles about the Lord of Poxes and the Emperor's Children in the description of the video, but let's get into what they showed off. Well, firstly, in non-miniature news is there's a Black Library book about Fulgrim coming, which I'm largely going to surmise is filling in some of the gaps as what he's been up to in the last 10,000 years since the events of the Horus Heresy and coming into the modern 40k setting. Because lore has been a bit thin on the ground of what Fulgrim's been up to, so maybe this novel could be the thing that fills in a lot of the blanks that what everyone's favourite snaky demon Primarch is getting up to these days. Next up, arguably one of the most recognised non-demon Primarch characters the Emperor's Children have, Lucius the Eternal, has got a frankly stunning new mini. And by the sound of things from various sources that I've seen, that he's going very much more the pure melee duelist approach, because he used to have a kind of pistol style scream attack thing, but a lot of sources that apparently have seen some of the seen rubles for him indicate he doesn't have that anymore, but he still has his classic sword and whip combo, and he's going to be an absolute pain in a one-on-one fight. Then we have two generic characters. The first, the Lord Exultant. Like a diet version of Lucius in the fact that it's a duelist generic character but won't be as good as Lucius will be. Next is the Lord Cacophonist. Basically, how to describe this guy, look at the description that the article gives and look at his model. Well, take DC's Black Canary. Shove her in a suit of bright pink and black power armour, hook her voice up to all the amplifiers you can find, because it sounds like this guy is going to scream you to death with sonic attacks. Again, we don't know any of the rules for this stuff yet. It'll be a thing when they start previewing some of the book. They'll talk more and more about these things. But the classic cult troops of Slaanesh, the Noise Marines, they're back. And they've got some lovely new minis as well. We've got some old classics. The Blastmasters are making a comeback. And apparently the Sergeant has something to call in a Screamer pistol, which will be interesting to see what the stat line's for. Now, the Emperor's Children were known for a lot of sonic weaponry, but back in the days of second and I think even third edition, had some weird and wonderful wibbles. So it'll be interesting to see what carries over. Are these just going to be more one-of-the-mill weapons with an Emperor's Children name and theme, or are they going to have some funky wibbles attached to them? That's something for the future to find out. Then we have the Flawless Blades. Now, what to describe? These guys are basically described as the ultimate narcissists. Now, in a legion full of narcissists, that's quite a they take that as quite a compliment. But what can we tell from the TLDR from the descriptions and the tabletop? Well, from the models, we can tell that they're armed with two-handed swords of some persuasion. They are very distinctive Cohen-style heads, and from the description given in the article, they welcome the gifts of possession from Slaaneshi demons, but are too vain to take on the appearance of them. So their stats will be interesting thing to see. Again, some lovely looking minis, and that's a very common theme with what they showed off for the Emperor's Children. Moving on next, you have the Infractors, just kind of a close quarters combat unit. If you think of Space Marine Reavers style with the knives and the pistols, you're running roughly along the right lines. Again, we don't know how it'll work out rules wise, but that's the closest unit comparison I can give just looking at the models. And you also have the Tormentors, which are basically the range version of the Infractors. So I'm guessing another troop alternative to go alongside your Noise Marines. But I'm interested to see what's going to happen with the Emperor's Children, because once upon a time, Slaanesh especially, and the Emperor's Children were, I suppose, the personification of the classic mantra of sex and drugs and rock and roll. So it'll be interesting to see how much of that sex, drugs and rock and roll mantra they've kept, but also tying it in to 21st century and 2025 sensibilities about such matters. So it'll be interesting to see how much they've had to tailor and water down with some of the classic Slaaneshi flavour, but still keep them Emperor's Children and Slaaneshi like. Of course, what we also know, and this will be going forward to the other God Legion books, is the respective God, the Slaneshi demons will also be in there. So likewise, World Eaters will have the Corn demons, Death Guard Nurgle, Thousand Sons Zinch, and so on. So with the respective God demons being in the respective God Legion codexes, one has to wonder, does this mean the end for Codex Chaos Demons? Or are there plans for that down the line? That's a question to wonder. But as of for now, what do you guys think of the Emperor's Children? Are you planning on collecting an army of them, getting some for painting projects, or just looking forward to it, wiping them off the table with whatever factions you might play? As always, let me know in the comments, and I shall catch you guys in the next video. Bye!